This is my gas tank. This is my fuel filter. I got two bilge pumps. One is for the bilge, which is the area down in here that's going to get water in it. One pump, which I think is this one, that sucks the water out of this area and throws it out. And then there's a second one in here, which is for the live well. That's this one here. It sucks water in through this little place right here for the live well up in the front. And you got to make sure your bilge pump is running. We'll check that here in a minute. If you got a fish finder, depth finder, make sure that your mount is in good shape and that this thing is going to be facing flat on the bottom when it's sitting in the water the way it's supposed to sit, or real close to flat. Doesn't have to be exactly level, but real close. Make sure your tie down straps are in good condition on both sides. I'm going to check my bilge pump right now. I'm going to turn the key. I may not have to turn the key on, I don't remember. Let's see if it'll work just with this power button on and then the bilge. Yep, it works just with that. I don't know, I'll hold the camera down there and I'll press the button, see if you can hear it. You should hear that. The aerator should do the same thing. It's not. So the aerator needs some attention, or maybe it has to have the key on for that one, I don't know. I'll have to work on the aerator. Then we need to check our lights if you're going to be out at night. This is your mast, or your stern light. It's the long one that goes up high with the white light on top of it. Mine is in that rod box over there. And we got to check this light. It's on, as you can see. Red on that side, green on this side. That's your navigation light. That's like a red light, green light system at a stop sign in a way, because people on the, like at a stop sign, people on the right side of you have the right of way unless you stop first. So that just means if you're coming up on their left and they're on your right, then you're going to see their red light. That means you stop and yield to them. And it's the same on this side. You come up on this side, you have the right of way because you got the green light. Where is it? There it is. You got the green light, so you have the right of way to pass in front of them. So that's kind of how that works. It works that way on boats and on airplanes. While we're checking those tie-down straps, you got to check your winch strap, make sure it's in good shape, and any other securement devices that you have up here. Make sure nothing's happened to your trailer. Your trailer tongue, in my case, mine's removable and it's locked in. The lock is on there, it's not going to fall off. My chains are here. And I'm going to plug this into my tow vehicle before I go and make sure that all the lights are working on both the vehicle and the trailer. And make sure my parking wheel is working. I leave this up all the way so that rainwater drains out the back end. And I have an anchor up here, and this rope needs to be replaced. I got a bad rope in here. I do need to get that rope out of there and replace it. This is an automatic anchor, or it's an electric anchor. I can run it from where the steering wheel is or from up here. It's got a switch up here I can run it with. Trolling motor, be good to test that, make sure it works in case I need it to get me back. so I don't have to use paddles if I run out of power or run out of gas or something goes wrong. And this is the rod box that I made. And I just stick a few things in here. I don't do very much rod and reel fishing, but you know, there's a can of bug spray in there, some extra tie downs, a pair of rusty vice grips, some paddles, here's some forks and spoons, odds and ends in here. Always keep a Ziploc bag, a good healthy Ziploc bag with a roll of toilet paper in it. Here's my stern light, this big long pole right here. I might as well get this out and make sure it works. I'm going to have a peek inside here and see how it goes. I see I got 3 holes. Looks like it could go in one of 2 different ways. Oh, wait a minute. It has a screw up here that has to fit into this notch right here. Okay, I see how it's going to go. And then we screw that in. And then we look up there and see, is the light on? Well, I can't tell if it's on or not. I'll have to climb up there and look at it. And then in my case, since I go night fishing, I gotta test my headlights, which is this switch right here. I'd say they're working. And I also got to test my pole lights. That's these up here on the pole. The switches is right here. Press all 3. Got 2 of them on at least. Got all 3 of those on. And this little bucket is a square-shaped bucket that's handy for scooping water out. It was like for laundry soap at a discount store, Walmart or something like that. Yeah, by being a square bucket, it's real handy for scooping water out, and it'll scoop water out of this thing too. That's I use that for a live well, that big 4-foot cooler. And this is my aerator. This boat comes with a live well, but I don't use it for a live well. It's too small for big catfish that I go out catching. And so this is the aerator for the live well. It plugs into 110. I got a small power inverter right here that I use for that. This is the other end of the anchor switch. The anchor up there in the front corner of the boat. I can drop that with this switch back here. I'm not going to show you because it needs a new rope. It gets tangled up inside there. By the way, my stern light is working. I think it is time to go ahead and start up the motor, or at least try to. First thing I'm going to do is put the mouse ears on, and I'm going to zoom in on where they go. This is on all outboard motors, or even an inboard outboard. This is it. It just has water. It goes in on one side here. This side's closed. Water goes in on one side, but the holes in the bottom of the motor there pass through both sides. This just stops the other side so the water don't just run out there. It makes the water actually run up into the motor, because right about up in here someplace, right in this neighborhood is where the water pump is going to be right in this section in here where the water pump is. This is your gearbox down here. You got a shaft that comes right up through there. It's your crankshaft, comes right out of the motor. And right in this section of it, in this general neighborhood, there's where the water pump is. And the water pump is made out of rubber. and it flexes inside of an odd shaped hole, and it has to be wet. You can start the motor for a second or two with it dry and it won't hurt anything, but it doesn't help anything. So this thing slides on here. We'll get a close-up on that. This thing slides on here enough to cover this vent right here on both sides. It slides right over the back, right onto that. Put a garden hose on that. Turn the water back on. And it's just going to spray all over the place. I'm going to turn the water off. It's just about off. And I'm going to pump this thing and prime up the carburetors with that primer bulb right there. I'm going to squeeze that until it gets hard. It's going to take a few squeezes because it hasn't been run since last year. It's got to fill up all 3 carburetors and the fuel line. I can finally start hearing it. I wonder what's taking it so long. We're getting almost there. Okay, we're about there, and that's a good sign. Let's meet with the carburetors filled up good. Float bowls are not hanging open, because if the floats were sticking, then the gas would just keep running out and the ball would never get tight. I'm going to give it a little bit more water down here, and this thing should just fire right up. Well, it sure didn't when I bought it. There's a story behind that. I thought I was buying a new boat and found out I wasn't at a dealer. Pull this up. It's got to be in neutral, and then pull this up, and then go on ahead and hit the starter. turn the water off, I just turned it almost off, turn it down real low. Because there's still going to be hot spots in the motor, although it wasn't in gear pushing the boat, it was just idling. Hey, that really gets me going. I want to go now. That's just the sound of it. One more little tip. Everybody knows this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Put your cell phone inside of a Ziploc bag. Mine may not fit inside this bag. But anyway, pretend it fits inside that bag, and then put it inside a bigger bag. This one, you squeeze all the air out of it and zip it shut, and you can use it. You can listen to it and use your touch screen and all that. You squeeze all the air out of it, zip it shut, and then you put it in a bigger bag when you're not using it, and close that one with air in it. Now mine, I'd have to put mine in this bag first and then put it in a gallon bag. Then you close it with air in it. If it does fall into the water by chance, you got a chance of getting it back because it'll float. So, and you can put some orange paper or yellow paper or something in there with it so you can see it easier in the water. Well, that is my video today for prepping your boat for the beginning of the season, and then you just do what you think you need to do from that for each trip out. But you got to do the whole 9 yards in the beginning of the season, and then each trip after that you don't have to do quite as much because you already know pretty much where you're at. Just make sure you got gas and oil when you go, and drinking water, extra drinking water in case somebody is injured and bleeding or something and they need help and they need water. Just make sure you've got extra stuff with you, because you can't just pull into a 7-Eleven and get something. You got to make sure you got enough for yourself and enough to share and everyone on the boat. You got to have enough for everybody that's with you and extra. That goes for life jackets, food, water, all that stuff. Jackets in case it gets cold. Have your sunscreen, have your mosquito spray, have your goggles. If your boat goes fast, you need to wear some kind of safety goggles. If it's daytime, sunglasses will do. They can blow off, so make sure you got a spare pair. If you're going to wear a bill cap, you got to put it on backwards or it'll blow right off of you. You'll lose it in the water. Have a trash can, a 5-gallon bucket with some kind of a weight in the bottom of it is good, so that stuff doesn't blow out into the water. It's very important that you don't let stuff blow out of your boat into the water. Happy fishing and boating to you. Thanks for watching.